As the coronavirus pandemic continues to spread globally, workplaces are trying to adapt. Many of them, especially in the technology sector, have transitioned to a work from home culture. But this has blurred the distinction between personal and office space, and as restrictions continue, many employees are now struggling. So we're asking how to avoid work from home burnout. When the lockdown started in many cities in India, suddenly there was a sigh of relief for people who couldn't take out their time for family, who finally felt that they'll be able to stay at home without traffic jams, without that long commute. And they felt the sense of relief in the beginning. But it seems that kind of a fairy tale ending is not what it's been for the past 4 months. What kind of stress have you been undergoing?
The stress that I've been undergoing has mainly been, I think, coping up with my housework. That has been absolutely overwhelming because I was not used to doing the entire load of the work. So much of the work that I have to do now used to be delegated to an house help who would come and help me out with this. So that has been a big part of it. Apart from that, the fact that, I also have a small NGO startup and that takes a lot of my time. The fact that I cannot really go out onto the fields and meet the women that I normally meet and interact with them. So it kind of, the entire mechanism of interaction has changed. And these are women, all of them do not have access to technology. So it's difficult. It is difficult to kind of coordinate, to understand what they're going through. And many a times I'm not able to do what I would have otherwise done, reaching out to them. So yeah, so it has been kind of, a double-edged situation for me. While I'm not happy with the way work is going outside on my NGO front. On the other front, I think home life has been absolutely messed up.
Well, Prabhash, I can see him smiling. Prabhash, what's been the most challenging part for you? Because you're in an industry which is seeing a difficult time, and then you're handling employees, and most of them are of younger generation who are not able to blow off their steam on their weekend get-together or Friday nights. And has it been difficult to keep them engaged and keep them productive?
Absolutely, absolutely. We have been trying very hard and working very hard because the complete working style has taken a complete change as such over a period of time. And let me tell you, let me share with you that there was an initial euphoria. It's a young generation, something new had happened to them. And that euphoria was not coming to office every day and reporting. So that was a good thing for them to start with. But it soon fizzled out actually. So this whole idea about not coming to office and then not getting all the facilities and environment to work on, it makes it very difficult because at home they lose all those boundaries between workspace and home space. It's difficult, and at the same time there were so many other hardships. Let me just share. Something just day before yesterday, I had a
Sure.
employee who was complaining that he didn't go to a barber shop for last 3 months. He has long hair and he's so irritated. The weather is hot and all of those things. There have been people who have come down to our office and they've collected their stuff to make it feel more comfortable, to make the environment better for themselves. So, all in all, the style of working has changed. What was being done here, wherein we were at arm length from each other, the meetings were happening easily, not just the ones that were planned, but the unplanned interaction and engagement that was working so well for us, it all had to go out of the window the moment this
So what are people taking
lockdown
from office? I'm really curious to know. What are people
happened.
taking
Okay,
from office?
I have had quite a few people who have actually come here and picked up their chairs and their backrests and stuff like that. their coffee mugs that they use in office. So
I
it's
draw the
just
line at coffee mugs. Coffee mugs you do need. You do need your coffee mugs to feel that you've started working. But Dr. Kohli, if I can come to you, what kind of cases are you seeing right now of burnout? Like, is it more in, say, the millennial workforce or the Gen Z, as we call it? And are the older workforce, older generation, coping a little better?
Yes, I think so. But the youngsters, especially where they felt working from home was a privilege. Now, as Prabhas is saying, it's more like a punishment because, primarily many people have moved from one town to the other. Especially, I have a lot of cases from IT industry. They moved from one town to the other. They are sharing an apartment or living on their own, and they're spending most of their day at office. They've got used to the cafeteria. They don't need to cook. It's like they're socializing even after the work ends. Then you're going out pubbing or partying or just sitting and chatting. So their life has come to an halt. I have cases, people calling me up and saying that, Dr. Kohli, the problem is that there is no specific time even from our bosses. They will just send us a mail middle of the night, or they will give us a call probably during the usual lunch hour, and we have to call them back. Or if the mail comes, we have to respond, otherwise we feel guilty. We can't even make an excuse because they know we are at home. So I wonder, Prabhas, if we are really looking at having that typical schedule that we did have, or a certain discipline we did have earlier in the office. And when I say discipline, of course, you're expecting discipline from people working from home too. As you say, the reports come in very late, etc. But I wonder if sitting at the other side of the desk, are we also becoming very demanding, and we just think we can pick up the phone and call the person and give that person a certain task?
Prabhas, that's to you. Yes.
Oh
Do
yes, oh yes.
managers
And
need to be more empathetic?
so we have been very cautious about such things that we don't overstep. And frankly, in spite of all that, I will say that when we are having meetings, there have been times when family members have walked in and asked the person to join them for their lunch or dinner at the table.
Subarna, I wanted to also, on that note, bring in the fact that you actually have started an online petition on change.org where you requested India's Prime Minister to ask men to share housework during this lockdown, and you got nearly 70,000 signatures on it. And that's been one of the biggest complaints, especially for female workers, where they felt that they're doing this double duty. They have to be present for their office. Earlier, they would disconnect when they would go to work and focus on that
Absolutely.
area, then come back home and focus on what's happening at home. But now, as the lines are blurring, that's an additional stress. And that's where a lot of productivity is also impacted for a lot of female workers. Of course, exceptions are there. But tell us about the response to this petition.
Absolutely. I think more than that number of the 70,000, every day what I read through are the comments, which is, everyone who's signing is almost going there and venting out their own experience, telling me that, this is exactly what I went through also, and I can't cope with this anymore.
When is that time, Dr. Kohli, that you feel that professional help should be sought?
Professional help when you know you just can't cope up and your family can't deal with it, and those signs are very, very obvious. When you don't stop crying, when you are losing sleep, when you're having palpitations all the time, your headache is not going, and you feel that it is going over a period of time, over 10 days, 15 days, 20 days. And I think that's the time you must seek help, because now we have so much help on the video, on the calls. People are seeing face to face each other. You must take help and encourage others also to take help.
All right. On that note, thank you so much, Dr. Kohli, Subarna, and Prabhas for joining us. Let me also add that a lot of material is also available online on the BBC if you want to reach out for any sort of mental health assistance as well. But thank you, everyone, for being with us and sharing your experiences. Stay safe, stay healthy, and I wish your teams and your work all the best. Thank you for being with us, the audience. So summing up, work from home burnout is real. And if you're feeling stretched, take a break. Breathe easy and reach out to people who can help. For employers and managers, it's time to be more empathetic. And remember, we're all in this together. Thank you for joining us. I hope you enjoyed the show. To write into us at Delhi_Worklifeindia at bbc.co.uk. You can also access a lot of material on mental health awareness on BBC website. You can also tweet using #WorklifeIndia. Till next time, this is Devina Gupta signing off. Stay safe and namaste.